Welcome to Cypress Creek Adventures. Hey there, another edition of Cypress Creek Adventures. I've been having a burden about all this prepping and all this nonsense that's been going on. Certainly no nonsense, but seems to be exploited in the gadgets and just the endless amount of stuff that people use to, they ride on the fear of what the unknown is and tell you what you need and don't need. And after we've had this taste in this past spring with the pandemic, and you go to the store and there's not a blessed thing in there, so it really hits home. So things I wanted to talk about this week were just general preparedness, but not being obsessive, so that we do get in this situation again, that you have what you need. And it's I'm not trying to fall on the coattails of other people or express my opinion. I'm just trying to give us some ideas that should be helpful, and without telling you what to do. Everybody has their own way of doing things and own way of living, but basically we all have the same food and shelter and transportation, and so we need to address these things and be prepared instead of waiting till we go to the store and there's not anything in there. So I just want to go over a few things, and maybe we'll stop in a store here and just show some different items that could be bought. My suggestion is that most every homeowner, whether you live in an apartment or in suburbia or on a farm or anywhere, we all have a home. And you can certainly have room for a tote. They sell them up to the Walmart store and other places for about 10 bucks. And you can put all your basic necessities in there that you might run out of, just toiletries and that kind of thing, and just some basic needs that you take for granted. And so we're going to discuss a few of those things and show you what I have. I'm kind of a prepper guy anyway. We certainly could get into this situation very quickly again. We don't know what this COVID thing's going to do, or anything else that might come along in the future that we just weren't ready for. So I think that just a few things in this video would be helpful to you, and maybe give you a plan that you might not have thought about. Okay, here in my house I have what's called an emergency cabinet, and I've maintained this cabinet for 5 or 6 years now. And I have rice and all kinds of dry goods and canned goods. I have everything here on the right is candles. I have medical and band-aids and bandages and Neosporin and all that, and some alcohol and that kind of thing. And so we moved down in here, and I've got, as you can see, plenty of vegetables and other canned goods, some soups and stuff. And down on the bottom here I have bleach and there is a couple bottles of water in the back there, but also baking goods and that kind of thing. So on top of the cabinet I keep a 48 count toilet paper, and I have a box of tissues here, and there's also a box of cereal up here that's sealed and boxed, as well as the rest of the stuff that was in this cabinet. This is another cabinet I have. It's a little overflow, but it's my daily cabinet that I have in the kitchen. And so in the back we have some canned hams, and we have this meat here that's in the jars is chicken thighs that I have processed myself. And I'm going to do a video on canning, and so I have all these jars of thighs, and I don't have to worry about if the electric goes off. And I do have a couple cans of pork that I purchased as well. Okay, also in various places in the house I have water tucked away. I have these gallons, and it's basically just me. I have my son stays with me part of the time, so we probably have another 10 of these just tucked away here and there in the dark, back of closets and such, so we'll be ready if we need it. And so this is basically what I keep on hand all the time with the other two cabinets. And also I have other provisions in the freezer that I keep, and meats, and mostly I have vegetables that are frozen from the garden as well. So as you can see, I have quite a bit of stuff that I've kept stockpiled, and I put and take. I don't leave stuff on the shelf for just endless waiting. You got to keep the stuff rotated. Some dry goods will last for years and years, and we just have to keep it in a dark place and keep an eye on it and make sure that it's okay and it's not been compromised by insects or anything else. I also want to note that in the bottom of my freezer I keep about 20 pounds of flour in plastic, and flour that has been kept for a long time is subject to weevils and such, but if you keep it in the freezer, it'll last forever. So you have that peace of mind as well. You go to the store, you can't buy bread, so make bread. If you can't find stuff at the store, you make do with what you have and do the best you can. So this is kind of basically the idea that I'm trying to get across, is to be self-sufficient, but this whole thing about prepping, it can be taken to too far. And I probably have quite a bit more than I need, but I feel comfortable, and that's my comfort zone. For you, it might be a couple of shelves in your kitchen that you just keep stocked all the time, so you have a week or 2 weeks worth of food that you can go for. It might not be exactly what you want to have that night or day, but you have food that you go to the store and there's nothing on the shelf. Well, you have your stock at home that you can prepare what you love to make. And I wanted to just talk a minute quickly about maintaining your vehicle, especially here now we're going to go into winter. This is my old truck here. This is 1995 F350 4x4 that I've basically restored. But every car and every truck have the same basic necessities that they need, and that's what I'm going to just highlight now. You need to make sure that you take care of your windshield wiper fluid. Make sure that is full all the time, and you want to check and make sure that you have sufficient coolant in your vehicle as well. You don't need to open the radiator. You only need to just make sure that this is full. And also you want to check and make sure that your battery is not corroded. And it was about a couple weeks ago I checked mine. It was starting to look a little corroded, so I cleaned these terminals up, got them cleaned up real good, so now I'm good for winter. If you can't do these things, when you go to get your oil changed, that's when your mechanic or oil change person should take care of that. And the other thing is to maintain and check your oil, which you can see down here in the bottom. We have a dipstick that says engine oil, and we want to check that pretty regular, even if you have a new car, because you never know what's going to happen. So these are the things that you need to do now. New windshield wipers if you need them, and that kind of thing. Don't wait for the ice in the morning or the really cold out and then, man, I wish I had taken care of this and done this or that. So now's the time to do that. Most people are in a hurry these days and back and forth and running kids to school and all this and that, and the vehicle gets gas, but a lot of other things are missed. Okay, another thing I wanted to note, this time of year I throw an extra blanket in the back and a couple other things, and a change of clothes and an old pair of shoes that I tuck under the seat. You happen to get into an emergency situation and you're in an accident or whatever, or you break down, you have extra clothes and dry clothes, and you have a blanket. You can also carry other things in here, but you can't carry water too much because it'll freeze. But just to have some basic things like that you keep in the trunk or behind the seat or whatever vehicle you ride. Okay, we're here at our local Dollar General. As you can see, this paper shelves are still empty. This is where napkins and paper plates and other products were supposed to be on this shelf. And I go over here, one of the things you can put in your tote is some Ziploc bags and also some trash bags. And we'll talk about trash bags here when we get out of the store. Now these shelves here are supposed to be paper towels. And as you can see, they actually have some toilet paper here. So that's a good thing. The store is always maintained even when things were short. And it still had, maybe not the brand you want, but they've always had what was needed. Laundry detergent and bleach. Bleach can be used for so many things. And to have a bottle of bleach on the shelf at your house is a great asset. Okay, so here in this store they have a whole bunch of different size totes. The biggest tote there, there's blue ones, are 12 hours. And they will hold an awful lot of stuff. They also have some smaller ones if you don't have that much space. Okay, this is one of the important aisles. We have the ladies' feminine stuff here. Also we have shampoo and soap. And we have some lotion and those kind of things that you can put in your tote. Okay, we're here, we got deodorant. All your shaving needs, men and women. You can buy these disposable razors even and put them in your tote. You'll have them when you need them. Okay, so here we are. We got toothpaste and other items here on this aisle. We got Band-Aids. There's certainly, as you saw in my cabinet, I carry Band-Aids, and those are important as well. You might consider is to put some cold medicine in there in case you have the flu or whatever. You come in the store and there's not a blessed thing in here, but you'll have it in your emergency supply. Okay, we're out here at the table. I wanted to talk to you about these trash bags. They're very useful. So this is a contractor's bag, which you can see is very big. And what you have here is you have a tarp and you also have a raincoat. So we unfold this and you'll see that these bags are quite substantial in size, but they're also 3 mil thick. So they're a lot heavier than a regular kitchen bag. So we spread this out and you can see how big this is. So we take our scissors and we can make a raincoat by taking and cutting a hole here in the top. And this will be the, put your head through, you can see here. And then on the sides, you want to come down about 6 inches or so, and we're going to make an armhole. You always have a raincoat. So we'll put that in. And for emergency in your car, or other times that you have this with you, you always have a rain jacket. You put that over your head and it'll keep you warm. Another thing that's important is, and you get caught in the rain or in bad weather and you don't have a raincoat, you always have this in your car and your with your other things that we talked about. And so we can take and open this up. If we need a tarp, then we're just going to take these scissors and go across here and open this up. And we go right down this side here. These scissors are pretty good. And as you can see, this is quite a substantial bag, so you get it's got a lot of area. And we open this up and you have a tarp, or you can even use this to cover yourself. And as you see, this is covering a huge area. It's covered almost this whole picnic table just by opening that up. Now on the same token, if you don't have a contractor's bag like this, you can use I'm actually sitting on this one. You can use a smaller version, but it won't be as big. It'll still fit for a raincoat, but when you open it up, it'll only be about half the size. So that's my tip on using trash bags. If you keep a couple in your tote, if you know a friend, you can get these. You can actually buy these at the lumber store or the Lowe's or the other places. Or you can use the larger trash bags that go in a full-size trash can. If you keep a couple of those in your car or truck, some in the house, and keep them on reserve, you always have what you need to keep yourself dry and warm. The worst thing that ever happened to you is to be wet right to the bone and get a chill, and you never get warmed back up. but at least you can keep most of the weather off you if you have an emergency thing. These are so much better. It's so much better than an emergency poncho. They're so thin and they tear, and really not very useful. So I want to wrap up this week's video. I hope it's been a help to you, and you've maybe learned some tips, and just hope that each individual person has their own idea of what they need and what they could use to put in maybe a tote or in their car, or there's many other things, you know, medications and such that you might need to lay back. So I appreciate you watching, and like and share my channel. Hit that subscribe button, and thank you for watching. If you have other things that you'd like to see happen on this channel or learn about, leave a comment below, and we'll see you next time. God bless.